Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. We're so glad you guys are here. We have some really fun things to go over today. We have one topic that Randy and I chose, and two questions that we're going to answer from clients. So we're going to dive right into the topic. Overthinking leads to underdoing. Randy.
People get, I like to say analysis paralysis. So we...
Can I also add information overload?
Information overload
Yes.
is another one. Since we live in the information age, people just, they got to research, find every little bit of information they can before they take any action. And give us like kind of talk about some client stuff. What do you see when it comes to like health and weight loss people are doing?
Okay, well, I can use just life experiences, whether you're a client or not. Or I mean, I'm guilty of this myself, where we get on Instagram and we scroll and absorb all of this content, all this information from influencers, and maybe one influencer is saying you need to walk 10,000 steps a day, and the other one is saying walk a minimum of 7,000 steps a day, and it leaves you feeling, well, what should I do? Should I walk 7 or should I walk 10? Another example is...
So you don't do anything.
So you don't do anything. Well, right, because you're sitting there and you're just absorbing, right? And then you catch yourself like cat chasing its tail. Or this one influencer is saying to eat protein. This influencer is saying calories matter most. What is it? And so I think that the overthinking leaves us feeling paralyzed and stuck instead of just putting one foot in front of the other and taking action.
Yeah. A client told me that they wanted to start walking and they researched the right kind of shoes because they weren't going to walk. And then like a couple weeks went by.
Because they weren't going to walk?
Because they weren't used to walking. They didn't walk, they exercised. So they spent all this time into like trying to figure out like what shoes they needed to go buy to go start walking. So, and 2 weeks went by.
2 weeks?
Before any action happened on just trying to go be more active and get some steps.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to do. I mean, I did it. We moved here. I needed a new barbecue, and I did it with Traeger. I had to look at all the bells and whistles. And finally, I just said, well, this Costco one is great. And if it's not what I'm looking for, I can always return it.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I'm a fan of it. I believe, and I'm guilty of this. This is probably why I believe in it so strongly, that perfectionism is just a fancy word for procrastination. And yeah, let that one sink in, right? Like everything has to be just so. It has to be perfect. Let's use an example. Yesterday, we have a client who was due for progress photos, but she's had a couple of rough weeks. And she said, Jess, if I could just have a couple of really perfect weeks of just nailing everything. And she even used the word perfect. If I could have a couple of perfect weeks, I know that my progress photos are going to look so much better than what they would if I did it today. And I said, great. So we're going to do it today. Today is a great day to do it. We have to take action.
Well, in the fitness space, it's always Monday, right?
Oh,
the diet, the boot camp, the exercise, whatever it is, always starts on a Monday.
Yep.
And a lot of times those Mondays never could come, right? They don't happen.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it on Monday. No, we're going to do it today. But overthinking leads to underdoing. We get in our heads, things have to be perfect. Oh no, I didn't meal plan for the week. Well, it's just, oh gosh, I throw in the towel. I guess it's just going to be, just drive-thrus all week. No. We know how to go step inside a grocery store and grab some chicken.
Yep.
Right? Don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be hard. But this industry has done a brilliant job overcomplicating everything.
One of the guys that I'm working with, and very, very busy and lots, on the road, and that's, hey, let's get 2 days of, meal prep cooking. and still just crazy busy schedule, like couldn't get the grocery store. So then we just said, okay, hey, you're going to start going and buying a rotisserie chicken because, you know, Costco, Walmart, I mean, Save Mart, everywhere. Yeah. Some blueberries or some apples, you know, some kind of, you know, cheese, good fat. And I was like, well, this is about the best we can do. But trying to get the grocery shopping and the prep and all this stuff, again, like 2-3 weeks went by and there was like no action. So now it's like, okay, can you do this? Yeah. Well, yes, I can do this. Yeah. So yeah. I think when it comes to when we're trying to think and plan, just picking some small forward motion action and just going and doing it.
Right.
So.
Right. So I always make a joke that it's a love language for a lot of our clients to send me reels on Instagram, and I'll get tons of them, right? And it's funny because I was laughing to Randy just this morning. I said, this one particular client will send me reel after reel for great information, but I know for a fact she is not applying any of it. She is just stuck. And so my job is to like, hey, let's get off of Instagram. Let's stop scrolling and let's do one thing. What's the one thing we can do? Let's start with water. Let's drink it. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just like to tell people when it comes to, if you can't figure out the right workout or the right program or whatever, start going for a walk every day. Mm-hmm. Set a timer every hour in the hour. Do some squats. If you can't figure out the right diet or the one that works for you, just start eating more protein. Those two simple things right there. Anybody can do them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, even a step further, stop filling your brain with all that noise.
Social media.
Start just challenge yourself. Go for a 5-day social media detox and just take all that time and energy into all the information you are consuming and apply that towards going for a walk outside.
Yeah.
It really adds up, which leads us into, right, so then you're taking action, you're not overthinking, and you're also buying back time.
Yep.
Buying back time is a beautiful gift.
It's hard. Our good friend Andrew Huberman, the way he breaks down the brain.
Our good friend.
He he commented on dog posts on social media.
Sure.
We're friends.
Oh yeah.
When it's hard to do something different. Mm-hmm. Our brains don't want to do it.
Right.
He said, your neural pathways to doing your daily things are like a mud rut in your brain, and trying to do something different is very hard. So
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. Your brain will try to tell you not to do it. It's scary.
So you might get mad.
Yeah, it'll affect your attitude. Just picking one small thing towards the direction you need to go and just starting to move forward. Then it becomes easy.
Yeah.
So, and if you're going to be a overthinker and you need to think and process, go for a walk and start to think and process that way.
But how many times are we sitting in a rocking chair processing? I'm processing. I'm thinking it through. No, you're not. Perfection is a fancy word for procrastination.
Well, and what also goes into that is, what's the good quote? Don't let or stop letting perfect be the enemy of good.
Right.
We will like you said, what the client said about, I got 2 perfect weeks before I can do my progress photos. That is the mentality that most people have now, is like it needs to be perfect. And in reality, there's absolutely no such thing. Our absolute perfect clients that do 90% of things correct have bad weeks or bad months, right?
Such is life.
Where life is crazy, busy, and people get sick, so you can't plan for that stuff.
Well, actually, no, you can plan for it. You can expect it. And I think when you let go of the expectations of, like this one, let go of the everyday. I just heard that the other day. Let go of the everyday and only focus on the day in front of you, the day to day. What do I have to do today? Don't worry about what you have to do every day. What do you have to do today? It quiets the noise. It brings you back in the present and it calms you. So I think it's really powerful. And I was going to say, say something on that and I totally forgot. Carry on.
Anyways, overthinking leads to underdoing. So if you're thinking about doing something, just go take even some small steps, small actions, and get after it, right?
Get after it.
All right. So question 1, we had a client.
I remember.
Well,
Let's
go ahead.
rewind. Oh man, it was. Yeah. Planning for it. Planning for life to not be perfect. Expect it. Expect it. That I am not saying be negative. I am not saying like, oh, it always rains. When it rains, it pours. But expect life to probably not be perfect, right? Expect, okay, cold and flus, expect them. Yep, someone's probably going to get sick. Or, yeah, well, it's probably going to be a chaotic day. So have a backup plan.
Sure.
Right?
Easy backup plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on now.
Question 1, we had a client ask, why do we not recommend gluten? And we felt bad because like we've talked about this before and she's been with us a while, and I guess at least recently we haven't gone into the detail of like why we don't recommend gluten. So
Well, you ever notice too how sometimes we give a lot of information. Speaking of information overload, for us, it's easy to retain because this is what we do.
Yeah.
Day in, day out. We live and breathe this stuff. This particular client, this is not her profession.
No.
This is a health journey. So
Correct.
in one ear and out the other is, I say, normal.
Yep.
Carry
And then when we talked to her, we had a really good conversation. We went over it. So here are just some bullet points. This is obviously not a complete list. But number 1, when you're eating gluten-containing products, you're typically having highly refined and processed, ultra-processed foods and carbohydrates. You know, things like breads, pastas, pastries, all made from refined grains. Refined grains tend to spike blood sugar, which will give energy crashes, and then it can throw hormones off and your cravings off. So there's number 1. Low nutrient density. This is the one that we typically talk to people about, is just saying there's really nothing in these, even the best loaf of sourdough bread is going to be very low in protein and many other things you need. So
Sure.
just most things
Good
with
for the soul.
gluten, sometimes, sourdough bread with some butter. Just low nutrient density. So things with gluten, they're good in the process and low nutrient density. So if you are going to have them with, some steak and some broccoli or some high nutrient foods.
Very inflammatory.
Number 3, yes, inflammatory potential. And it's going to be much greater if you're sensitive to gluten or if you're celiac. But for everybody, there's gluten, having it every day is probably going to cause you a little bit of low-level inflammation. It's really telling when you eliminate it for about 30 days.
I was just going to say that you might not even notice or recognize until you actually remove it and then add it back in. It's pretty telling.
Our people are carbosaurs. They love to say, "Oh, I'm just fine. I tolerate gluten really well." It's like, well, eliminate it for 30 days and then see.
Yep.
Add it back in and see how you feel.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing of the things our bodies do when we remove them and then we add them back in.
Absolutely.
Gut impact. Again, you can be sensitive or celiac, and this is going to be much worse, but it can cause gut inflammation, leaky gut. If you're celiac, you can't really have gluten, and if you do, you're actually harming your health pretty significantly. But even with all of us, sometimes just bloating, just discomfort, weight gain, poor digestion, your gut, if you don't tolerate it very well, you might your gut will just not absorb nutrients like it should. I always go back to, remember one of the other fitness competitors in the area who eliminated gluten for like 2 weeks and then added it back in, and then she said she felt like she was pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A beer and a hot dog at a baseball game.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too, is gluten-containing products stimulate the part of the brain that will increase cravings and make you more excited. So eating things with gluten, again,
Excited for sugary.
yeah, and especially since they're already in processed sugary foods, you are going to crave more. You're going to eat more foods. So again, eliminate them for 30 days, eliminate the gluten for 30 days, and add it back in and see how you feel. Never hurts, right?
No, not at all. I'm not a fan of having gluten in anyone's diet as a regular daily thing.
No, and when you there are better forms. So if you do want some bread, because yes, sometimes bread is delicious. A homemade sourdough bread is better, but even a store-bought sourdough bread is better because it's been fermented and the gluten structures are broken down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Do you want to talk about the 00 flour?
Yeah, so there's the flours and the wheats that come from Europe are a little bit better. And that was what our client, we talked about, her and her husband that went to Italy for a couple weeks, and she goes, oh yeah, we ate tons of bread and pasta and pizza and didn't feel the same.
Right.
So they use a different wheat. I get them mixed up. I think they use spring wheat, we use summer wheat.
I think you're right.
They're more of their wheat is more less genetically modified, so it's a more natural.
Right.
It has a lower gluten content. So there's people that can't really eat bread and gluten products in the United States. They go to Paris or they go to Italy, and they eat all the pastries, and they don't gain any weight, and they're fine.
Well, and also they're moving a lot.
Typically.
No.
Yeah.
They move a lot more than us.
Yeah.
Which actually leads us into, look at that lead in, guys.
Question number 2.
How and why to get 10,000 steps. How to get 10,000 steps easily, and why is that the recommendation?
So why don't you give us all the reasons of how? Like the little sneaky ways. You're good with that.
Oh, I do like a sneaky sprinkle.
Yeah. And this has been a struggle for a lot more of the guys that I work with. Like my activity is so low right now. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Set a timer on your phone if you have a desk job. You can set a timer on your phone, or you can link a walking habit or a movement habit with every time you have to go to the printer, or every time you have to use the restroom, or whatever, right? Whatever you can, you gotta link it. Link a new habit with an old habit, tie them in. And then when you do it, you get up and tell yourself, I'm gonna walk around for 2 minutes. Okay, walk around the office like a little puppy, 2 minutes. Or walk outside for 2 minutes. But those little micro sprinkles, they add up over time, right? So if you say, what's 2 minutes times 8 hours?
16.
That's 16? Yeah.
16.
So it's 16 minutes of movement. Whoa, look at that math, girl. That you weren't getting before, right?
Yeah.
So that's an extra. And that is actually pretty dang good.
Yeah. And everybody already knows, like, take the stairs, park farther away.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they know it, but do you do it?
No, most people don't. Yeah, I mean, you do.
I quite enjoy that.
I'm a fan of just figuring out, like, one of the calls with one of my clients yesterday, I said, hey, stop trying, your activity's so low, you just have to stop trying to even do a quick 15-minute workout. I just need you to go for a walk every morning.
Yeah.
So sometimes, even if it's 10 minutes, just go for a walk in the morning. At the end of the day, I tell people, don't go in your house, go for a walk around the block. Park your car, go for a walk around the block. Once you go in the house at the end of the day, a long day, most people, they're not going to work out, they're not going to go for a walk. It's the end of the day. We're pretty tired.
Buddy up. Okay, if you guys are working outside the home, buddy up with someone in the office. People want to be healthy. We really do. We need to believe that, right? Like, people actually want to be healthy. A lot of the times people, they're overthinkers and underdoers. They don't take action. I know someone who wants to, but she's scared to do it by herself.
Yep.
So buddy up. Ask someone, oh my gosh, I'm struggle busing. My coach wants me to get 10,000 steps. Will you help me? People love to help people.
Absolutely.
Totally. right? So buddy up, grab someone. Hey, every day we're gonna go take a quick 10-minute walk on our lunch break. Awesome, beautiful. A lot of the times people...
Accountability partners.
Yes, people get so annoyed with me when I suggest these sprinkle micro workouts. Yeah, they get irritated with me until they get their 8,000 to 10,000 steps in a day.
Well, the funny thing is whenever we have to do the 30-day reset plan with people, it always goes back to being way more active, less exercise. Every single time somebody cleaning up things within the diet, and they always get results. They drop inches, they drop weight.
Right. So what I was trying to, the point I was trying to make was a lot of the times we underestimate the value of a 2-minute walk. Like really, what the hell is a 2-minute walk going to do for me?
I believe.
Right, but 2 minutes adds up.
Well, yeah. I believe it's actually, we've been programmed to deprioritize walking, and we have to put it into running, or we have to go to the gym or a boot camp class, or we have to do, it's just not a priority. And people, they're like, really? All I need to do is walk? And I'm like...
Right, it seems so boring.
And that's fine. If you guys, anybody want to do this, since this will be on YouTube, go YouTube, walking 10, 12,000 steps a day, and you'll see really, really great experts out there telling you, here's why you should do that.
Right.
So,
and
here's the why. How do you like that lead in?
Yeah, what? If you are getting 4,000 steps in a day, you are in a disease state.
Yeah.
Yuck. No, thank you.
So the conversation I had with the guy yesterday was like, his steps consistently are below 4,000. New job, busy job, commutes. And I said, okay, we're like, you staying at 4,000, and I go, there's sensationalized headlines that it's as bad as smoking. And it actually might be. Going from 4,000 to 7,000, he will decrease his all risk mortality by 30%, maybe 40.
That's big.
So all risk mortality in the United States is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, all the big metabolic diseases. So that's that simple. Getting an extra 3,000 steps in a day will drop your chances by almost half.
And 3,000 steps, guys, if you're intentional with it.
So with him, what we settled on is like, go for a walk 10 minutes, go for a walk 10 minutes at the end of the day. So we have 20 minutes, and then just trying to be more active somewhere, like put a headset on, AirPods on, and walk in your office. So, and then the other thing is, if you go from 4,000 steps to 10,000 steps, I think you drop your all risk mortality by 60 or 70%. So, the step count of 10,000, they had to reduce it because Americans can't even meet 10,000 steps. They did it to 8. 8's still what should be ideal, but 7 is like, well, if you're getting at least 7, you're not harming yourself, you're going to die early. But here's the other thing. If you walk 12 to 15,000 steps per day, you will lose weight, you will lose body fat. There are some of the most jacked dudes in the fitness space putting out really good content, talking about they stopped working out so much and running, and now they're walking 15,000 steps per day. They sleep better, their bodies feel better, and they're still nice and lean, and they're probably overall healthier.
Right.
So walking, it's what our bodies are meant to do. Lots and lots of low intensity activity.
You guys, I used to think walkers were lame. If you're not running, what are you doing?
You're wasting your time.
I was that person. Yep. I was like, that's cool, watch me run.
All right. That's all we got today.
Beautiful.
All right.
Well, we hope you benefited from this.
Hopefully. Kept it simple. Three things.
Give us a like, a share, and a subscribe if you found this useful. If
you guys, anybody else watches this, you have questions you want answered, you can find us at JRP Health anywhere. We got a free Facebook group where we put out lots of cool free stuff. And that's it.
That's it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.